guys. Yeah, you let us know. FBI's watching. Nigeria, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for you, Boromir. Philippines, 8 a.m. Nice, guys. So yeah, usually these sessions are pretty diverse. We got people from all over. And if you do miss it, it's good to know that it is recorded and posted on YouTube. So, whatever happens, you guys have access to this. You're never really missing out. 7 p.m. in Cayman, nice. UK, 1 a.m. All right, so that's dedication right there. Anything past midnight, if you guys are still signing on, that's dedication, because these go for about an hour. But yeah, whatever you got to do to get ready for the markets. So as you guys know, the market opened up a couple hours ago, 5 p.m. for us. Normally, we don't take any trades on Sunday. We're really just waiting for the volume to kick in, wait for more of the regular market movement throughout the week. So we'll start, we'll do analysis. We'll run through it, see what we could find tonight. And then probably wait till tomorrow for actual entries if we see, what we're looking for. So we're going to cover all that. 7 a.m. by you, 7 p.m. by you. So yeah, we're going to cover all that. We're going to get into it, see what the potential is for this week. But let's just give it maybe another minute or so, and then we'll get started here.
Yeah, I friggin' forgot my key. I'm locked out of the office, so I have to go home and get it.
Oh, no way. Dang.
Yeah.
I should probably put an emergency one.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But
yeah, so I'll be back in a bit. But I was going to say, yeah, everyone, Nick's going to cover all the swing trading ideas for the week. Like Nick said, not many trades tonight. We're actually going to put out the new rapid signal group where we're going to be giving tons of signals to everyone's requesting it. So that's going to be out this week. So I'm going to talk about that more towards the end of this session. But yeah, like Nick said, we'll go over just our ideas for today, get the week kind of kicked off.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing too. So like as Angelo was saying, he's going to cover something a little different in the second half and then go over, signals and such. But what's good about this is we're teaching two strategies in total now. The core one, trend trading, price action trading, that complements what Angelo is doing very well because, you learn the fundamentals, you learn pretty much how to read the market, and then you could start to, advance things, change things around based on what type of trader you are and so on. So it's really important to kind of learn the basics first, understand it, and then you guys can move freely. That's what trading is all about. It's always adapting. It's always about finding your style, refining what you could do better. And it's, you always learn, it's a never ending education, I guess you could say, right? I mean,
yep. So. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We're definitely covering two different strategies now. We always kind of just focused on the swing trading, but I'm doing more intraday trading now. So it definitely benefits everyone to learn two different ways of looking at things.
Yeah, absolutely. More strategies. It's just more ammunition in your, toolkit for the market, whatever you could do to get an edge. So he's going to get into that a little more, but let's kick this off. I think we've spent enough time letting people join. Let's go ahead and share up here and just kind of get into what's going on. Actually, 1 second. All right, so let's just start off how we normally do. We're going to cover some pairs here, cover DXY, see what's going on for the week, and I'm pretty much going to just walk you through how I come up with this analysis. Now, the lowest time frame we're really going to go here is the 4-hour because we're looking for the week ahead, right? This is the most relevant time frame to kind of find price action for this upcoming week. So that's where we found that things are the clearest, where you can mark things up the best and just get, two potential trade scenarios. So that's really where we focus. We'll jump to the daily, assume the trend, drop to the 4-hour, and then come up with these, trade scenarios. So let's just start off on the daily. As I was saying, we're here on DXY. So this is just essentially showing you the strength of the US dollar itself. We don't actually trade this, but we do analyze it pretty often, every week, because the dollar makes up for most of the movement in the market, right? And it makes up for 80% of all trade. That's a huge number, guys. So if you see this start to trend in a certain way, you best bet that the rest of the market is going to, move to some degree as well. So it's good to understand where this is, where it's going, and just the overall trend. So we can see here on the daily that we're very bearish, right? We have been for a while. The most key level that we're near right now is this monthly, right at 91.5. And we can see that we were respecting it for a while. It was definitely a level of support over here. We broke through it. It tested as resistance, flipped again as support, flipped back through as resistance, and then confirmed it with a lower high. So this is definitely a clear break. We're definitely below the monthly now. We are looking very, very bearish still. So this was more or less just a pullback, confirmation of a lower high in here, part of a already existing very bearish trend. So we're still bearish. This is a good sign. So the way you find the highest probability trades is just kind of lining up. If you can get all the trends or the significant trends, daily, weekly, 4-hour, to all line up in their trend, let's say bearish in this scenario, that's going to give you a lot of confidence behind looking for short opportunities, because every time frame is pointing to that. And for us to change our mind and say, all right, it's really bullish now, a lot has to happen. You have to see a lot of price action kind of push the opposite direction, break through significant levels, and so on. So it's a good sign. That's where you really get the high probability trade. So definitely bearish, and then especially on this time frame, as long as we're below 91.5, we're very much bearish for the next few weeks. So mid to long term. Okay, so we got the trend bearish, as we said. Let's go to the 4-hour, and this is where we're going to find the potential for the week, right? We know we're bearish. We know we're bearish below 91.5. Okay, this is how far price action has to jump to for us to say on that daily time frame it's bullish. So quite a bit of movement here, right? So very, very much bearish, and it will be for a while, as we can see. So let's see what's happening this week. We can see we've been ranging for a while. So there's only so much movement we can see in a week. Again, these are only 4-hour candles. So we'll see price action probably, form, a couple dozen, more candles, like 2-3 dozen more candles. So you're not going to choose, a target way up here or like massive candles and, start projecting all the way over here, for the next, what is that, month almost. So, or 2 weeks rather. So it doesn't make sense. So you want to stay, relative to, what we're looking at, which is just a week ahead. Okay. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. So the 4-hour does a nice job at kind of showing that. So let's see these two scenarios. Okay, so it's either going to continue in this range, and it's very likely that it will. We're overall very bearish. We're holding resistance here at 92.5. So this could easily just turn over and start pushing down towards the bottom of the range again. And this is totally acceptable if you want to, take a short position up here, find a lower time frame transition, and play the range. Good amount of movement here. Let's see how many pips it is. Just from the top, 50, 60 pips. So there could be a nice little lower time frame trade in there. Ideally, you want to wait for a lower break of the range. So a break of 89.7, lower high below. That's where obviously the most conservative. That would probably hint at the largest move, especially since we're, again, breaking support, testing as resistance, moving lower. So that would be the pretty much stage 2 to this. So if it fell, look for the break, look for the retest, maybe scale in or just enter on a more conservative trade. So this is the most likely for this week. Okay, so let's say it breaks to the upside. You need to see a higher low above 92.5. And that's what has to happen for us to say, okay, the 4-hour is now bullish. This level's broken, clearly confirmed. And then we'll start targeting higher. Our next level would be key resistance at 97.5. So that's where we would be targeting, and then we would consider DXY bullish on the 4-hour if this happened. For now, super bearish. Very likely that will continue to drop for the week ahead. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, so we have DXY all sorted here. Let's go over to AU. Daily time frame, very bullish, as we can see. It has been for a while. But more recently, well, actually just this year, since the beginning of January, we've been kind of consolidating. I mean, it's been forming these lower time frame trends, where it's playing between this range. But ultimately, we've been ranging here on this time frame for quite a while. We did see a little high established up here at 0.80 flat, but there was no higher low to confirm this. So it just came back and continued to play between these two levels, 0.78 as resistance, 0.76 as support. So let's drop to the 4-hour now, see what's going on. Okay, here's that ranging, well, section of the ranging that has been going on. Right, so that's where we are now. So we're getting even tighter consolidation, even tighter ranging here on the 4-hour. So this trend is continuing. We're seeing on the daily, we're seeing on the 4-hour. So we know that we really want to wait for something solid for us to, catch a trade other than, playing the range. You really want to see something break to the upside or break to the downside for us to confidently get into the trade, right? Because we know that it's been consolidating for so long. We've seen it here. We saw it on the daily. We just want to be super safe. And if you're not playing the range, just got to really be conservative and wait for either lower high, higher low, whatever. So we're here on the 4-hour, again, super ranging. So there's only two ways this can go, right? Very simple. We're at the bottom of the range. It's either going to break or bounce. Very straightforward when you're looking at ranges. So right now we are pushing a little bit lower. We did get some good closure, little to no wick, no exhaustion there. So that's a good sign. That's pretty much what you want to see if a range is breaking. You know, a significant push outside of either support or resistance, support in this case. We hit a lower level. Now it's coming back with a little less enthusiasm, which is good. It's showing that this level is holding to an extent. And now would be the time to drop to the 1-hour, 30-minute maybe, and try and confirm some sort of lower high in here. If you can catch a, a transition or some lower time frame setups to confirm this 4-hour lower high, that'd be perfect. You'd enter on that, stop loss in the range, and then target lower towards our weekly support at 0.76. So this could be an absolutely massive trade. I like the volume that we're seeing. But we're still a couple confirmations away from confirming the break of the range anyway. So could be potentially a huge trade. Let's say this is a complete fake out. It pulls back into the range. Look to enter in a higher low and then target the top of the range at 0.78. Okay, so just you'd be pretty much trying to fill this range again and just making a trade based on that. Again, if this doesn't follow through with this break. So that's where we are on AU. Pretty straightforward. Consolidation can suck at times, but I mean, when it does break, it's very clear cut. It's super easy to see. But yeah, that's AU. So let's move on to the next pair, AJ. Daily time from the start. Going to be pretty similar to AU. Overall, very bullish. Some choppiness in the lower time frames. This, however, is kind of holding a trend a little bit better. We're getting a little more higher lows, less of a giant range that we just saw in AU, but overall very bullish. That's a good sign. Let's go to the 4-hour now, see what's happening. So kind of like we saw in AU, this is a little bit of consolidation happening. Here's that little false breakout also present here, right? Didn't give us a higher low above this level, came back down. And this is a bit of a range right here. Just add the zone for visuals. So clearly there's been some reaction here at this level, resistance wise, some reaction here support wise. Hasn't really been stopping at the zone exactly. It's kind of disrespecting it to, some degree. So it's chop essentially. It's not the easiest to trade right now, which is why we really wanted to wait for, a trend to make itself, pretty obvious, and we can catch some, higher lows if we're going to continue with the overall bullish trend. So we're kind of seeing that now, right? We were a little hesitant here as price action pulled back. Last week, I was waiting for price action to kind of confirm a lower high in this area below 84.4. I thought it was going to fall back into the range. Obviously, that didn't happen. It popped up, messed around in this lower time frame level for a little bit, gave us a surge to the prior high, and now it's pulling back. So this is perfect because this is where we want to confirm a higher low with nice, strong bullish setups. Because look, we'll be able to confirm an MA cross here. We'll be able to get pretty good confirmation on the lower time frame that we could then enter on and then target towards the prior high. So this is what's pretty likely for this week. We do have a very nice little trend forming here on the 4-hour. Will it follow through? We'll see. That's why we really wait for those confirmations, because something that could look so perfect on the 4-hour could be setting up and it's like, oh my God, I'm going to get in this trade. And then you go to the 30-minute and then it starts failing confirmations, and if you were to take the trade, you obviously wouldn't have, made out well, break even or a small loss or something potentially. But that's why you always want to wait for that confirmation. So we're close. We'll be stalking this one, watching this one on the 30-minute 1-hour into tomorrow. So we'll see. Hopefully something good, catch a nice rally into a prior high. Okay, but if this doesn't happen, if this range, continues to kind of hold price action and we see it fall back down, we need to see a lower high below 84.4 to comfortably take shorts, because this would be the first step in transitioning back to a 4-hour bearish trend. And then we'll target support levels on the way down. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But sometimes when you get this chop, the best thing you can do is just mark up the most conservative, the highest probability setups, and just wait for price action to follow that. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You don't really trade chop anyway, so you're just letting the market come to you. Kind of like the patient, taking a patient approach. Okay, so that's AJ. Let's move on to UJ. Daily time frame to start. This one's finally showing some normal structure. No more of this exaggerated, crazy volume runs and pullbacks and bullshit. So we'll get to that in a second on the lower time frame. But just on the daily, we can see that we're bullish for a while. We have been for a while after we broke this little bearish channel, right? We kind of rocketed through key resistance, 107, which is our weekly, and now we're kind of somewhere in the halfway point of this huge zone, between zones here. Okay, 107 is major support, 111.5 is major resistance. Okay, so we're very extended here. This was overextended for a while. We were waiting for structure to form. That was formed finally on this pullback. Right, we saw structure form, and now we're continuing in a bullish fashion. Good bullish trend here. So let's go to the 4-hour, see what we could spot, see what potential trades there are for this week, and then take it from there. So here's the 4-hour. And we do have some significant zones for this 4-hour, 110 being resistance, 109.15 being major support. Okay, so from here, we obviously want to continue with the trend, which is very bullish. We did get a nice surge to 110, so you can't really take a trade from this area. If you want to counter trend trade and short it off your first engulfing, that's up to you. I always like to trade the trend. I'll always offer the most conservative trade to you guys. I'll never give you guys a high risk trade saying, all right, short at resistance now, because it looks like it's going to dump. Everything is kind of planned out based on what the market's showing us. Okay, I'm never going to just say, take it here for whatever reason. I'm going to give you guys the examples and the confirmations leading up to it. So the most conservative entry here on UJ would be waiting for a pullback. I mean, this is a large range here. I mean, a large trend, meaning there's a good amount of volume, between the resisting trend line and the supporting trend line. So this could fall quite a bit and still remain bullish. So you want to buy at the low. So you want to buy the low of a bullish trend. That's where really the highest probability trade is going to be. And in this case, it's going to be right above 109.15. See a nice higher low there. Good confluence area. You can see the 200 EMA is there as well. You'll get a nice MA pullback and then an MA cross if the higher low is to be confirmed, and then we'll see some entry points with bullish setups on the 1 hour and 30 minute. And then we'll target towards the prior high, back up towards 110, which is, I mean, just from 109.15, it's 95 pips away, or 85 pips away. That's pretty big, guys. So that'd be a good trade. Good risk to reward, I'm sure. Your stop loss would be well protected. So that's the best setup, for this week. This probably wouldn't play out Monday or Tuesday. This would take a little while. Maybe Wednesday, midweek, we'll see a good little long opportunity on UJ. But if this doesn't play out, let's say it blows right through 109.15, shoots lower, maybe even hits 108.4 first before pulling back. But ultimately, we need to see a lower high below 109.15 to say, okay, we're looking at shorts now. UJ is potentially bearish, right? We want to see, like, what are the characteristics of a bullish and bearish trend, right? Higher highs, higher lows for a bullish trend, lower lows, lower highs for a bearish trend. If we see, a lower high and then a lower low form, clearly, we're making a transition towards a bearish trend here. And that lower high being the first signal of that, and that's why we always wait for that confirmation so we can catch, the beginning of a new trend. And that's really where, you see the highest probability trades, you'll catch the most profit, and you'll get those crazy risk to reward trades. I mean, this could be a 3-to-1 pretty easily. You could see if it pulls back in a nice way and gives those confirmations. So that's UJ, guys. Overall bullish. So we'll see how it plays out this week. Yeah, looking pretty good though. Not bad. So next is EJ, and then I'm gonna wrap it up with gold, and then I'll pass this off to Angelo for some other trading knowledge. So let's go to the daily real quick.
The trading knowledge.
Some other trading knowledge. Overall super bullish here on EJ, and it has been for a while. So that's why I honestly wasn't, in my early days when I was trading, I wasn't really the biggest fan of EJ. I thought it was a mess of a chart. I thought it was super hard to follow. But really, if you look on the higher time frames, it tells it's pretty simple in the way that it forms structure. Just whatever it's doing, it does for a long time. This thing really, it's not afraid of commitment. EJ, really commits to whatever it wants to do. So what I mean by that is, we have a bullish trend here. I mean, this is undoubtedly a bullish trend on the daily. And this is one of the better examples that we'll see on majors recently. So super nice to see, but it's been rallying for so long, right? And then that's kind of the trend, or the characteristic of EJ, right? Whatever it's doing is going to do for a while. So once it's trending, it'll trend for a while. Once it's consolidating, it'll do that for a long ass time, and vice versa. If it's falling, it'll fall for a while. And yeah, that's just how EJ does it. And once it takes off, it's got these explosive moves, and it'll kind of hold its trend for a while. So it makes it good for swing trading, right? You can find structure points pretty easy. You could find very clean, break and retest, and then re-entry opportunities. So I like EJ. EJ is a good one. But yeah, overall super bullish. Let's get into more recent price action. Very bullish here on the daily, looking to continue in that way. The most significant zone that we broke recently was 132.75. Okay, we're just above that now. There's actually a little bit of a retest there, which is a good sign. So let's drop to the 4-hour now and get a closer look. We know we're majorly bullish. Now we have a new major support again this weekly that we just broke, that we just talked about. Here with that little retest, nice little flag pattern, and continuation of this bullish trend. So super, super easy to see here, guys. Bullish trend. Now, one thing when you're highlighting a trend, I more so just use trend lines for that, to highlight patterns and trends and just make things a little more visually pleasing. So that's what I'm doing here, right? I'm highlighting this trend. Now, I'm not going to use these trend lines as like, oh, this is support, it's broken, now it's bearish, or vice versa, whatever. It's just a visual tool. You can see it's in the trend. I'm kind of using it to find confluence areas. There's a nice pocket here where if price action pulled back into, I'd be interested in potentially buying at this area, right? So that's how I'm using it, okay? So we're a little overextended on EJ now. We're right at our 0%. I would like to see more of structure formed, and I say more of because we wicked the 38 here for a second, but it doesn't really have me sold, especially if you go to the lower time frame. I don't know. It's just I want to see something a little more significant than just a wick to the exact pip at the 38.2. I want to see candle closure closer to that level. So I have the 61.8 mark. This is the highest probability area. There's the most confluence here. And if I saw this hit, there's no doubt after I confirm the higher low that I'd be entering. And then, have a great risk to reward. Stop loss would be pretty tight. We're targeting the negative fib level. So this is very likely for this week, guys. And this would be a simple continuation of the trend. Fib levels are hit, support level tested, MA cross, higher low. The confirmations go on. So this is like ideally a perfect setup if we see this play out. All right, so that's the most likely, I think. So this is one of my, our high prospects for this week. So yeah, this is definitely the likely scenario. We'll see how this plays out. But what needs to happen for us to, potentially deem EJ bearish, at least on the 4-hour, we need to see a break of 133.3, right? And then a lower high below. Now, you could take a short opportunity into the weekly, but again, as long as we're above this level on the daily anyway, we're very much bullish. So, the 4-hour would definitely be bearish, but the daily is very much bullish. So this would be my max target that I'd be comfortable with anyway. And then I'd like to see how price action reacts at this level. Same thing, break or retest, and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, this is EJ looking pretty good. Pretty damn good on EJ. All right, so let's move on to gold. I'll check questions real quick. GA, I don't cover GA. Angelo, sometimes, occasionally, rarely. But yeah, maybe at the end if we got time.
No GA.
No GA, yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But yeah, anyway, so back on gold. Guys, we were bearish for quite a while. I'm just going to extend these zones because we're here on the daily. We were bearish for quite a while. Super, super bearish, right? We broke through key level, 1800. Shot down to 1675, double bottomed, and then went bullish since then. So the real level here was 1800, and once that was broken, this thing was just bullish as hell. And it is now still, very bullish. So we're looking to continue with that trend. We're going to start targeting some higher resistance levels. Let's see what we could find on the 4-hour. I mean, let's just get down to it. See what we got. Okay, a little bit of a slowing of a trend here. There's some chop. So what's always interesting to see, if there's a ton of candles at resistance or at a high, or if price action is overextended and you're just seeing a whole clump of candles with no real direction, that's more or less a slowing of a trend. Because look, you're just seeing all these candles represent time, right? 4 hours each. There's just more time in this part of the trend than there was down here, right? This thing was clearly very swift in its movement, kind of chugging higher, small retest, and then normal trend formation. So it just continued after that. But now, the candles are getting smaller. You're seeing some attempts at a break, some volume surges here and there, but nothing that significant, at least in this area. Now we're seeing some more volume, some hints of a flag pattern, nice exhaustion, seller's exhaustion there. So honestly, I want to pull back. I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to recommend buying at this price. I would wait for, at least more of a significant higher low above this support level. I really want to test this level again, really confirm it as a strong support level. and then we can start taking buys off that, right? So 1875 is the level. I want to see a pullback. Want to see 38.2 hit. Good structure formation. Again, MA crosses aren't going to hurt either. But more importantly, the higher low is what we want to see confirmed. So the pullback can come. We'll start dropping down once price action gets to this area, but then we're only going to enter long once we see some bullish setups that will then on the 1 hour or 30 minute, you want to spot setups there to enter on. That will then confirm the 4 hour higher low, which is going to happen right here that you're looking at, literally this right here. So this would be perfect. Nice opportunity. We'll target the negative 27, which is pretty much at 1935. Okay, pretty good level. Good amount of pips to be made on that. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, don't buy gold right now. Don't do it. All right. So what needs to happen for us to say gold's bearish? I'm going to start shorting gold. I think it's a good opportunity. What are the circumstances need to be for us to start thinking like that, right? We need to see a break back below 1875, lower high, retesting, confirming, and then what do you know? We're in a bearish 4 hour trend. We're going to start taking shorts off this level, targeting towards the weekly around 1825, which makes a lot of sense because look, there's another pocket in here. As well, you have this massive bullish trend that would just be pretty much still forming if price action fell to this level. So, whichever way gold goes this week, we'll be ready. We got our analysis marked up. We're not going to be fooled. We'll be ready. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I got for you guys. Angela's going to jump into some other pairs for you guys, but quick recap. I covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. And if you guys want to reference this through the week, you can. The link is dropped in Discord. Hey, you can come in here and start clicking these links anytime through the week, and it'll play it forward, just like this. This play button's always here. It's a live chart. Wherever you play to, it'll show you where price action is now, and how well these analyses played out. So usually they're pretty accurate. Definitely a good tool for you guys if you kind of want. I guess the best way to put it is like a training wheel analysis, just to compare to your own, just to kind of give you some confidence, or to, if you're kind of losing yourself on a certain pair, get back on track by checking one of those analyses. So yeah, they're posted in Discord and Telegram, free for all you guys to use. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys. I'm going to pass this off to Angelo.
Let's do it. Darren's out here hyping us up, bro. That's right. I'm next on deck.
Yeah, he's going to show you guys how to break the market. Break the
pull
it towards Sora.
Yeah, we'll see if we can break the fucking bank this week on this one.
That's right, guys. Pay attention.
Remember NFP Friday. Yeah, so NFP is actually good. NFP will be on Friday, guys. So definitely be careful with that. If you guys are on TradingView, I'm pretty sure you could get this with the free version. Just if you're wondering when like news events are or whatever, I actually never really used this until recently, but you can bring on economic events and choose to only show them for the future events. So it'll pull it up for the week. Like if we come down to the 4 hour, you can start to see, and this is just in particular to each whatever pair that you're on. So it's pretty effective. Like it makes sense to have it on here. As we can see, we've got some things coming up. It shows you the red ones the same way if you were looking at like any economic calendar as well. And I guess if we
that's a good point. That's a good point too, because even if you are looking at another economic calendar, you could see that there's something brewing in the next few days, because these icons are down here. So it gets you in the mindset of like checking the news or being aware of it anyway. So
yeah, it's just super easy like to have it on here. But
yeah, it is. It's good.
So yeah, I've got it on here. As you can see, NFP Friday will be going off at 8:30. So we'll be weird at that. So we got this whole fucking week. And what's crazy is like, if y'all go back and you review, obviously last week and everything, if you watch the weekly analysis review video I posted where I went over all of the analysis we put out last week, it's just crazy, guys. Like when you look back at a week and see how things ended up playing out, what your original ideas were, how the market actually moved. So like Nick said, use this analysis to your advantage. You could have it be like a freaking training wheel. It's really just we're working on the higher time frames. If you don't know how to mark structure down, at the minimum, just use the structure we marked down. Use that to help you out. I'm going to start off not on this one. I'm going to go to USEF. We're just going to start up on the weekly time frame here and just keeping it super simple. As we could see with this one, had been extremely bearish for quite some time. And then over the last couple of weeks, we've started to actually show signs of reversal. So see this like doji type candle, spinning top, 2 spinning top candles in a row. So this thing is like ready to pull back up. It hasn't had a pullback in a long time. We're hitting like a support level right here as well. So this thing looks as though we're going to get some sort of reversal, but we're going to go down to first the daily, and we're going to see like what does the daily time frame look like. And the daily was making these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, these breaks and retests all the way since April. And then now down at this level, we had this simple little break retest here, which would have been a perfect opportunity to enter on. And then we had the same thing. We broke this support level, came back. Now we're retesting it. There are some wicks. So even though on the higher time frame, I'm seeing that it could potentially reverse, we're getting those spinning top candles. When I look at the daily, structure is still very much bearish right now. Structure is still in a downtrend, 100%. This is definitely retesting a resistance level right now that I would want to potentially short at. And last week too, Friday's candle closed with this long wick. So to me, this could reverse from this level. This could push to the downside. I haven't even looked much at DXY. What were you saying this thing's looking like? Let's see.
It's been pretty bearish. It's kind of locked in a range. I got 92.5 as resistance, 89.7 as support. Then
yeah. I mean, look, again, it looks as though it's going to start to reverse. This is telling us, you know, everything that we would need to see for reversal. The dojis, the wicks to the bottom, not failing to make a new low. We're hitting support. But we just want to kind of wait until price actually starts to transition. I believe you had like, so you had this, not, you said 92.50
I have it.
level marked.
The potential for the pullback, if it does break lower time frame resistance, I have it coming back to 97.5.
Yeah.
So
it would have to break above here.
yeah, exactly. And that's where I have it going to if it does up there. Yeah.
That high, but
Yeah.
it has to
This is the
definitely
level
has to break above this level, guys. And until it does, I mean, we're still in a downtrend, so we don't want to fool ourselves here. Like, this is the 2 scenarios for the week. Just keep it simple. It's either going to respect this and make a new push to a new low, which looks very likely considering this wick, or if it does find the strength to push up. So with that in mind, I'm staying kind of bearish with the dollar, and if the dollar is bearish, then USEF would also be fairly bearish as well, and it would actually push to the downside as well. So I'm going to stay on this daily time frame. This is pretty much idea 1. We're respecting this 90 level right in this area, pushing to this new low down here. Idea number 2, if we come down to the 4-hour, we're starting to see these breaks, break of resistance right here. Bring this on. We had a break of resistance, found support. Now we just pushed to the new high. Now we're trying to break this other resistance level right here. So price is starting to shift momentum on this time frame. So if price shoots up above this area and manages to break this, then we're going to have idea number 2, which is going to be looking for that next higher low, and then looking to long this back into more of a major resistance level, which would then be up at this monthly at around the 9,700 area. And then for you guys that don't know, you know, why do I have that marked as a monthly level? How do I draw levels? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to zoom out. I'm going to go up to the monthly time frame, and we're going to take a look. Why is that level there? I marked it based on this was support, this was support, or this was resistance right here. This was support, this was support, this was resistance. So whenever price is hitting this area, there's a big move in either direction. So as price comes back into this area, we're going to look for a similar outcome. We're going to look for it to act as resistance or something like that. So that's a major level of resistance up there, but we're not there yet. So again, one of 2 scenarios. If price manages to break above here, we're going to get a ton of volume and we should buy. If price starts to wick at this area, we should start to sell. So, and we should target lower. We should use the daily time frame. The next low would be down here at this like 89, 175 area. So Again, just be patient early in the week on this one. Use the 4-hour time frame. Wait for this to not only break, but like for 2 candles above here, and then it'll probably retest, much like it did here. We had this quick break and then retest on this one. Could have got in on it literally here, and then it shot up. Or if you missed that one, it actually came down to retest it again right there. So be patient on the breaks and retest, guys. Don't jump the gun on this one. It is a higher time frame. So if you get in early and you're using the higher time frame, you could face a considerable amount of drawdown. So try to get in on like the best possible areas, which is at these levels. So that's GU. Let's start going through the rest of them. Well, that's USEF. Let's go to GU next. So up on the weekly, I mean, look at GU. We are climbing and we're looking very weak. We're looking extremely weak. The past 3 weeks have failed to have much volume. This first bullish candle was 150 pips. This next bullish candle ended up closing 100 pips up. Then this one closed like literally 20 pips. And then last week's candle closed like less than 20 pips. So we're losing volume as we're trying to push up here. So I'm just keeping that in mind. As I come to the daily, even though we're losing tons of volume, the daily is certainly still in an uptrend. The daily time frame is still in an uptrend. We just broke out of the downtrend. You see my trend line. We retested it as support, pushed to a new high. Now we're doing the whole thing again at this high point. So I want to take one of two scenarios here. Either I want to get in on the long, continue with the uptrend, which would be taking longs. I'm gonna just put this on, which would be taking longs at this level. Last week, I had the same analysis. It was in an uptrend. I believe the market opened right here, somewhere in, where the hell did this open? Let's say the 30th. So opened last week was the 24th. Oh yeah, it opened right here. So we were anticipating it to retest this level, and it retested it once, twice, 3 times. Could have got on 3 buys off of this level, guys, from last week. So know your levels. If price comes down back into this level, we're looking for the same thing, looking for buys. If price breaks this area, if it does one of these, I'm going to try to bring this tool on again. I believe it's this one, the ghost feed. No, that's not it. What the hell is the ghost
It's the
feed?
bar pattern.
Bar pattern. So if it does this, we get that clean break to the downside, and then it comes up to retest, and it shows some rejection, we could start to short it. A much different scenario than back here. Back here is very minor. This would be a very major level of support that would be broken, since it's already been tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that pretty much would be scenario 2. Scenario 1, price comes into this level as the arrow is drawn, finds support, shoots to the upside. So yeah, that's GU. And considering the dollar looks bearish, so it's likely that GU could push up, considering the dollar might not be as strong this week. So that's GU. Let's go over to UCAD. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. I just use this little trend line here just to identify the trend. It's obviously fucking bearish. Anyone can tell, this thing's been going lower and lower for quite some time, since April of 2020. This thing's been in this push to the downside. And then coming down to the daily time frame, again, I'm just gonna bring this off. We are bearish, but like we're all the way down to this low. And if we just look at the weekly, look at these dojis. I know I have this marked. We have these dojis right here. Last week, from the doji. So we're starting to like really slow up at this level for whatever reason. Okay, so it's this. Look at these wicks. We're starting to slow up at that level. If price breaks this area, it's gonna fly to the downside. It's gonna go, or should I say fall? It's gonna fall to this 18500 level, which is like pretty far away, 220 pips away. I wrote in the analysis in Telegram. This is forming some sort of pattern. If you guys haven't really recognized this at this point, it's a rectangle pattern. How to identify that? We need at least 2 high points, 2 low points that get retested. Obviously, price found resistance, found support, found resistance, found support, found resistance. So we're just ping ball or whatever, pinning in this area. right here. So we're going up, we're going down, we're going up, we're going down. So if price manages to break out of this, this is a continuation pattern. This thing is going to move 200 pips to the downside. That's the next support level that it has. As I come down, I'm just going to take this off, throw this up a little bit. As I come down to the 4 hour, I just want to keep in mind this is, let me just keep this here. This is our main resistance level. This is also on the 4 hour, our previous lower high point. So I have it marked off using these arrows here, and I'm just gonna do this again. If you're ever struggling with identifying structure, guys, use this. Just mark down where your lower lows, where your lower highs are. I have it marked just like this. Price made a low, made a high, made a low, made a high, made a low, retested the high. If price breaks this high, this is then an uptrend. If price maintains this high, this is a downtrend. Right now, we're like in the middle of this. I don't want to necessarily take a trade right now, but if I did, this would be the order. I would have to put stops somewhere up in this area to be very conservative, or down in this area. Remember, we're trying to swing trade this. So if this was a swing trade and I'm realistically targeting this monthly level, I mean, that would be your risk reward. It'd be a 5-to-1. If I use a more conservative approach, it would be a 2.7-to-1. So, or let's clean this up just a little bit. We'll put it like 80 right here. So it'd be like about a 3-to-1 risk reward if I were to just short it. And it's not, we don't have, like, it isn't bad right now. There are confirmations here. We did form the lower high. We came back for a retest. We rejected the shit out of it. You know, so this wouldn't be a terrible trade right now to take if you're truly trying to swing it for the week. If you want to be a little bit more patient, I would either look for it to come back into the resistance, or if it breaks this, just simple break and retest. So I'm going to leave this here for the week. This is the trade idea on UCAD to go short on this one. I'm just going to come back up to GU and then to USEF. Yeah, GU and USEF, I can't really put on the long or short tool and like put out a solid idea. This is the only one right now that's looking like a trade that would be potentially worth it. Next, let's go to Euro USD. I'm going to go ahead and clear this up, and we're just going to go from the higher time frame here. We're going to do like a full little top-down analysis. So starting literally on the weekly time frame, look how this previous week's candle closed, guys. Wick, doji, nice wick on the previous candle as well. Low volume, so tons of low volume here. This thing's getting weaker and weaker, which means it could potentially start to fall to the downside. I'm just going to take this off. I'm also going to scroll out. EU is coming into a big resistance level. So this 123, 12300 level, like 124, this is a big level of resistance right here, guys. And if price manages to come back into that resistance, we're definitely going to look to take some aggressive sells. Right now, looking at the weekly, yes, this is getting weaker, but we always have to just stay in line with structure. Structure is bullish right now on this time frame. Even though that's getting weaker, no support has broken yet. If anything, this is finding support right now. So I just want you guys to understand that, like, even though my idea on the weekly is like, okay, the candle's forming, it could reverse, we're not at the main resistance level yet. So I'm not going to be too aggressive in selling this. And if anything, I'm just looking to ride this daily and 4-hour trend. I'm going to come down here. And this 4-hour trend is very clearly making these higher highs and higher low points over and over. We had this like little dip down here, but overall we're making these higher highs and higher lows. We had this new high. Now we're retesting the low. So this would be idea one. Idea one, let me just clean this up a little bit. This is a nice level right here. So we have resistance, resistance, flipped, support, support. This is a great level, guys, to long off of. We have the monthly resistance up there, which I want this to get to anyway. And this would pretty much be pretty much idea number one. We would be targeting up here. It'd be a 2-to-1. We put our stops below the low. That would be idea one, literally longing it right now into the resistance. And then idea number two would be if price manages to, dude, I always keep doing this. freaking clicking my my photos.
Oh,
Luckily, nothing comes up. Let's see. This would be idea number 2. Idea number 2 would be price breaks this, gets below this level. If this happens, guys, we should be shorting it right away. If price breaks this support, we should be shorting this thing right away, right at the resistance, and then it would be the opposite. It would be shorts here. Boom. We would target, this would be like TP1. We'd have our stops above this resistance level, and then TP2 would be down at this level. So that's going to be idea number 1, and then idea number 2 on this one. So I'm going to leave these up here for the week. If you're going to enter long, I'd enter long now. If you're going to enter short, I'd wait and get short on this one. And then let's go next to Ncd USD. This one's, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with this week, the way that I'm looking at it. So weekly time frame, as we can see, we're hitting a resistance level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 6 times right here, hitting this resistance level. Last week formed this wick, but this is like an inverted hammer candle, which is kind of a reversal candle, like a bullish reversal candle. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Down to the daily time frame, this thing is in an uptrend, but we're at the resistance. We're at the zone that I want to be at to short. As opposed to EU, when we just looked at this, remember the zone is up here. This zone is right here. We're right at the zone. So I want to be more aggressive with shorts on this one. And what I put out for the analysis was, if price retests this level right here, we're going to short it. So if price comes up to this, I'm going to take a short. And I could even instruct you to take a sell limit on this. Put your stops at like 50 pips. Target 1 would be like down here, and then target 2 would be down here. So this is the trade idea on Ncd USD for the week. So I would set a sell limit on this one right here. You've got enough room where if it does go against us, you can kind of get out of this, and you have the main resistance level there. So I've got an NU sell idea. I've got an EU buy idea, which obviously are 2 different ones, but if NU does push, it has a little ways to go. Like it's all the way down here. It's got to push up 40 pips just to get there. And then that would be nice if EU managed to push up, 40 pips or whatever. If it pushed up 40 pips at this point, we'd probably go to break even anyway, because we'd be around a 1-to-1 risk reward anyway. So that's my idea. We have EU, we have NU, we have UCAD, 2 ideas here, mainly looking to short this one as well. And then I'm going to do GJ last. And then if anyone's got any questions, we'll end the analysis after this, and we'll start to get in to some other topics here. So let's finish it up with GJ. This one, just kind of keeping it super simple. There's not much we can do with this because it's just so damn bullish. Things been bullish for a long ass time since September. So it's been bullish over 9 months now, just going higher and higher. Let's go down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame again, bullish trend, making this high, higher low, it's higher low. Now we just made a new high, and now we're just pushing up one more time. So I'm gonna go all the way down to 4-hour. And this is where I could potentially take a trade if I were to bring on my fib levels. We'll fib this out. I'm looking for price to come down and to retest this 155 level. So I'm going to mark this more as a zone. Let me go here. So I'm going to mark this more as a zone. And when price comes down into this area, this is when we're going to look to trigger buys, and we're going to look to continue this thing to go higher. And I'm just going to bump up to this time frame to see what could potentially be like the next level. And we seem to have some levels like literally all the way up there, but we'll use the fib retracement levels or the projection levels kind of as our targets. So this would be the trade idea for GU for this week. Price comes down into this area. We'd throw stops below the support, which would be like below the 61.8, right here. So if price does manage to make it down here, that's going to be the trade idea for this week. So yeah, that's pretty much all the analysis that I wanted to cover. I did GJ and then a bunch of the major pairs here: USEF, GU, UCAD, NU, EU. Like Nick said, we're not gonna we are teaching two strategies now. This session is all about swing trading, so we're only focused on looking for swing trading ideas. I am trading a more intraday strategy now. We're calling it the institutional strategy, but it's basically using these VWAP and volume profile tools. We're not going to talk about that much on this session. That's for the Learn and Earn group. So if you guys want to learn about that, it's inside of our course. It's inside of the Signal room. So you guys can trade live with me Tuesday through Thursday. I'm using that strategy, and you'll see me do everything, from back testing to posting all the before and after shots. I post every single trade, and this is for honestly my personal benefit, but as I'm working as a trader to, become better with the strategy, it also helps you guys as well. All these before and after pictures. And when me and Brian are doing our back testing, he's one of our members that's helping us out now with this. I'm also posting all the trades that we're taking in the back test in here, so I can go back, review different ideas, and that's how you get better, guys. I mean, some dude literally messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Why are you back testing if you're a professional trader?" And the I'm like that like everyone that is a trader on Instagram just like fucks up everything for the rest of us, because they show that they don't do no work, that they smoke weed all day and like don't do nothing and
Yep.
chill on a yacht or
Not
whatever.
the reality. It's like the thing is, it's not even just with trading. It's if you're a professional, like any sport and in the NFL, MLB, whatever. It's like you think those guys just stopped practicing once they got to the majors. It's like no, they started practicing more, even like to refine that. And that's part of it. It's practice. You're practicing like anything else. That's how you get better.
Yeah, and that, to your point, I even this football player, there was a picture posted today. He's in his like third year, and he has like this crazy body transformation. Because to your point, he's practicing more. Like he's literally working 10 times harder and is like so much more dialed in to what he's doing, because he is a professional. Like it's his job. Like this is, as a professional trader, your job should be to practice more. Like
Right, right, and that's another thing too, because I mean, I'm sure his practice was intense too, even before getting to the majors. But now he has the tools, he has the coaches, the high level coaches that know all the right routines and know the most effective ways to practice. That's essentially what back testing is. Whatever you were doing before in a course, taking live trades, sure, that's all practice too, but it's not high quality, high level practice like back testing is.
yeah, yeah, and the reason I was able to pick up the strategy and move so quickly with it is because of the fact that as someone who's been doing this for a long while, I'm working as efficiently as possible, and I have like all the habits that I need to just pick it up and to run with it. Like I know how to, I know how to collect all the information I need to build confidence. Like when I was learning how to trade, it was like, how do I build confidence? And I try to tell everyone, you have to back test. Like you have to back test. You have to simulate your thinking processes in that like testing environment. It's not the same as real trading. You're going to still have different struggles when it comes to actually trading, because once your money's on the line, then you're like going through all these different emotions, like, oh, I'm up money, I'm down money, I lost a trade, I want to win a trade, all these other things that you need to learn like in the live market. But for me, I jumped right into forward testing. I jumped right into using the strategy after testing it a little while. And so now you guys are seeing it live, trading it, testing it live, and me and Brian, our decision making's getting better every single session. So yeah, if you guys want to learn that strategy, it'll be in the course, in the Learn and Earn group. I think tomorrow we're going to do a Memorial Day sale. We're going to do 50% off tomorrow for the course. So yeah, I'll put out some information on that. And then other than that, we are doing a new Signal room this week. We're going to launch it. It's going to be in addition to the Learn and Earn group. And I'm going to go ahead and explain all this stuff and the price and all that works in a video that's going to be inside of the Telegram. But pretty much, guys, we're going to be putting out signals in here. We're going to be doing just entry, stop loss, TP. Very straightforward, because that's what people want. We're going to ditch all the fluff, that people do like. That will be inside of the Learn and Earn group. This is where we'll explain things a little bit more, be a little bit more in depth. But the Rapid Signals group will literally just be signals. That's it. Buys, sells, stop losses. There's going to be a ton of them going out every single day. This week, we're not going to do a trial. We're just going to run the group. We're doing a test run with it. And we've been testing over the last couple of weeks, but we're going to put out some free signals for everyone in the Telegram. We'll get that information out there on how to sign up, what the deals are and everything. And then the following week, we'll do a free trial so everyone can get in for free for the week, and, try it out. So that's coming this week. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we're going to change that Wednesday call to Friday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll kick off the week with these sessions, and then we'll end the week with kind of a review. And it's a little more laid back on Friday. The motions are kind of off the table, and we can kind of just get into the market that way, like we did this past week. So yeah, that's the new schedule for these 2 free live sessions. But yeah, as Angelo said, if you guys want more, dig into the community, get into Discord, Telegram, and start exploring through all those offerings. I mean, there's a lot in there. There's a ton. Anything you could want out of a trading community, or anything that you would want to potentially sign up for, we probably have it or have done it. So it's worth looking into, to be honest.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. So yeah, we'll catch you guys later in the week. Obviously stay up to date with the things that are going on. We'll be posting updates. I'll post the replay of this session if you guys have missed any of the analyses. We'll get that on YouTube in like a little bit. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the week, and best of luck if you're live trading.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and then the battle begins tomorrow. So
the battle begins. Yeah, and I'm working on some funding challenges. If you guys are interested in doing a funding challenge, if you are trading, you can come over to the Funded Trader program. Guys, we are actively looking for people that can manage money. So if you guys think you can trade, or obviously trade your own account and you want more capital, we're giving accounts out to people who can pass the challenges. There's a 50K, 100K, 200K challenge. These are the rules. It's pretty straightforward. You got to make 10% in phase 1. You got to make 5% in phase 2. You can't draw down certain amounts, and you got an 80% split if you pass. If you guys pass this, because of the fact that me and Nick own this company, you're going to be working as a partner with us. We're going to try to find other opportunities for you. Because at the end of the day, our goal is to find other people that can trade, and this is the way to do it.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, some of you rather may be asking, like, what's the point of funding? Like, why do you need this? Why is it something you should be interested in? Because this is the next step for your trading. The first step is learning, and then, before funding was available, you'd kind of have to figure out, all right, how do I grow X amount of money into 100,000, into $500,000, so on and so on. This kind of eliminates that problem, because if you have the skill set and you're able to demonstrate that through a challenge, you'll be then eligible to trade 50, 100K, 200K live account, which obviously cuts a lot of time down between you growing an account and then, starting to see some big profits from that. So this is obviously cutting out all that time. Definitely more of a streamlined, better program for traders now. It's a better option. There's, it's an opportunity for good traders these days. So I wish I had funding when I was starting off. It probably would have saved me some time, but yeah, that's what this is here for. So that's what funding is. And that's why, it probably should be on your radar, somewhere part of your plan or something for the future.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right, guys, enjoy the week, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Peace, guys.
Peace
Thanks.
out.